Okay, everybody, if you're interested in what I'm up to now, see all these cameras? And it is time for me, as I've been showing everybody my historical stuff on Facebook, I decided to go take and have it looked at because I'm tired of holding it and looking at it. So I'm at the road show at the Mount Wash Omni, and I'm going to be live and discussing about my grandfather because you guys all know about my family and how they were. Ba-da-da-da. So anyway, this is going to be interesting, and we're going to do an interview, and you can watch it live. All right. So, my 23,000 followers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going up the ladder all the time. Okay, so. Sorry. Right about there. Be good?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Is that right, Connor?
If it's more pointed upwards, yeah. Right there.
And this is part of the road show, okay? I'm on the road doing a show. That's my life. Okay. So, today, we're going to get educated about something that happened many, many, many years ago, right here in Twin Mountain, and also in Canada, and out west. There was, my grandfather was really into the railroad and buying up the common stocks. And I found that very interesting, that Aquila Chase had gone to the White House and saved a lot of the furniture out of the White House. Aquila Ethno Chase. And I have the history here. But most important was about this mail bag. This mail bag has been, I started researching it about 30 years ago. Cost me $600 phone bill. Calling England, every loom, every person that sewed. 1800s in Connecticut was the first loom that opened.
Okay.
So what happened was England is where I thought this, because it had number 2 on it. So I said, oh, it could be England. So that's where that started. I kept calling every curator, every museum, any library. I could not get any information on this. And then I discovered about the history. Yeah, I discovered the history on how in the 1776, I Googled how they carried the mail. Because first of all, I not only researched that, I thought Pony Express. So I went through all the Pony Express error, the steamboat error.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going through every error to figure out who made this. And nobody knew. It was like I had the worst dead end. Then one day I said, there's got to be somebody. So just, the internet, we can now Google. So I Googled, where, about the trains, about the stuff. And next thing I knew, because I was also researching stuff from the 17th, 14th century. And so that's when I came across, they carried it by train. They would go through, if you Google, the mailbag being carried by train. That's why they've got these hooks. These hooks would go on the thing as they go through the town to grab the mail.
Because the train can't stop, so it's got to keep going. They got to somehow drop the mail at the station, so they have the bags hanging out the side. So what was so interesting about this is you said the Smithsonian was interested in this for their exhibit.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay. So what happened was I got a hold of some people out in Denver, Colorado, who do this stuff. And I trusted them, and I mailed it out to them so they could physically touch it and look at it.
Yeah.
They had it for about a month, and then they sent it to a place over in New York, which they sent me a letter saying the Smithsonian would be interested.
So Mystic, you had said. So
Mystic.
Yeah,
the company up in New York.
Yes, Camden, New York, Mystic. So Don Sutton, the president of the company, is on the board. He's one of the trustees for the Smithsonian. So he must have contacted the Smithsonian and said, we've got this mailbag from the,
from the history.
Yeah.
And this thing has been so used. I mean, look
Yeah.
at they had to sew it because they got torn, shredded, even bullet holes in it. I think they probably got a tap.
Well, there were a lot of train robberies that
Yeah.
in those,
So that's what I think. Those are bullet holes.
it's
Interesting.
quite possible.
I thought of that after.
But you had an interesting story about was it your grandfather or your
Okay,
great
so
grandfather?
I know I can't try. My grandfather, his brother, they went around buying all the railroad up here. And here's the article here about how it says. You can probably read it better because my eyesight. I have my glasses. I don't want to look like an old lady. See he went to the White House all the time to talk to Abraham Lincoln. He was a colonel, and he carried one of those Roman lance swords. And that is another historical thing that I love. It has the original leather on it from where they march, and the leather. I told you a story about the leather shrinking down. Yeah. So he went to the White House here, and then he owned the railroad Fabian's here in Canada. Oh my God. So all this history.
So this mailbag comes from the train that that ran on the railroad.
Yeah, and it was freighted from Virginia because I have the boxes. Back in the old days, they would on the wagons which carried. My grandfather also invented the chase cars, and we have it in the museum. My mother wrote around like the chaser, throwing it in there, and he did. And my mother wrote around the car. I got the original car parts that he made back in the old days, and Henry Ford bought him out in New York, Syracuse.
Really?
Yeah, and I had the only pin, you guys. The only pin that said Chase bought out.
Ford bought out Chase.
I lost the pin.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm so mad. That's how many years ago I had that stupid. My mother was saying, I know. My mother had, all these things she'd hold and tell me the stories on it. My mom was like one day, I loved her. And so it ended up where I wrote down to this.
Yeah. Well, no, this is a
Researching, and I
terrific piece of
answer.
American history, Americana, and to have a mailbag that originated from the trains that your grandfather owned as a railroad company. You got the shares here, you got the article here. It's a tremendous piece.
And I've got all that furniture too. Look at it.
Yeah,
Oh my
provenance to go with it.
Wow. There's a lot of stuff in there.
But yeah, I mean, I've been to the Smithsonian a couple times. It'll be really interesting to see this.
I'm not scared to drive there. That's what it is. I'm afraid to drive to even Boston.
Yeah, well, I mean, that can get kind of tough. So.
I mean, I travel. I pay people to travel.
Yeah.
And I give it to
But it'll be interesting to see this on display because they have such an incredible railroad display for these train cars, these mail cars that are delivering mail to the
do you
different
guys know
towns.
anybody that buys trains? The
Oh
real Lionel pre-post-war autos.
yeah, we can help you with that.
You can? Yeah, probably 10,000.
Oh, 10, that's a lot.
Yeah, I love
With the
trains.
days. Okay, yeah, I'd love to make an appointment. You can take a look. Really perfect, yeah. So they were they from your grandfather or your father?
Nope, that's just a collection that was gathered for years and years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, terrific. Well, thank you so much for showing this. You brought this in today to the roadshow for an appraisal.
I did it, you guys. I'm finally sharing because I've been trying to tell all the people on Facebook. I don't know who to tell them. But everybody knows they can follow me all along. But when I show some things to people, how proud I am to have that stuff and preserved it.
Yeah.
Because people don't appreciate the kids nowadays. They just throw it away.
Right.
Kids all sit there and throw it in the dumpster. No. You start really better start downsizing now.
Well, thank you so much for showing this to us.
Okay, you're welcome. I
It's
really
really
much
interesting.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
And thank you for letting me be live on the Nobles website. Do you buy books? I have a few things.
We
do. Kate Douglas Wiggins, all of us do all this.
Okay.
All the Charles Dickens.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I have to start cleaning. I just got probably 6. Others historical, like I showed you all that old stuff there. I bought out the estate, and now I have it in the capital. What am I gonna do?
Well, terrific. Then do you mind if Connor gets some close-up shots of the mailbag and this article and we share?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for doing
Okay.
this. You got what you needed from us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Connor, for interviewing me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm
super
happy I
cool
came out
piece.
here today. Finally, because I've been trying to figure out how to get to those people on TV. You know how they
Oh, Antiques Roadshow?
Yes!
Yeah.
I never can figure out how to
Well,
get
it's
to
there's a convoluted process.
Yeah, there's going to be a one of them. What was it? That name?
Was it
Yeah.
maybe it was Booth Bay
Booth Bay. That's
Bay.
right. It's going to be in Booth Bay.
in June?
Yes.
Yeah.
My birthday's June.
There you go.
I'm going to Niagara Falls. June 10th. I'm being different. My twins. But we're not sure.
I'll just grab your.
They're gonna go in there at Old Orchard Beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll just grab your computer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, I wanna get this set up. I'm gonna do,
Great. This is impressive.
did you see what we're doing
Sorry?
on the bus tonight? We're doing, no, that's not recording, right?
No.
No.
You guys are tonight. It's the big show. We got the Brothers Grateful. He's coming. Another guy's coming up from Thornton. Who's in Florida.
Okay.
We got all the musicians.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to do a big jamming tonight. That's why I got to get back to my house, put the food together, in the coolers, carry it in the car, get myself a hernia again. Oh Lord, I got something to do. Hey, thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I even have oh well, that stuff here is just. This is stuff. But he's right. I went and I have old points, right? Then I went and did this to everyone.
That's an interesting way to.
Well, listen, I know what they had. It was, but he said, no, I'm gonna get some bags. Yeah. I'm gonna get those little clear sleeves you can order online.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that. And then put them all in there because I've almost got the whole collection. I've been collecting these things for years.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Except for I'm missing one in 1943.
Is that the?
The copper one.
Yeah. We're gonna get rid of them all. Now.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I see. I got jugs and jugs. Oh,
Yeah. I got a whole notebook full of just.
Did you get a close up of the article?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's just where the little right where I circled the ball, and up here is where he went to the White House.
Oh, okay.
He used to go to the White House and tell Abraham Lincoln. And in the house in Whitefield, they used to screw up the slaves.
Yeah.
He used to bring them up here and hide them. Get them up here and hide them.
Yep.
So he was a trade them, you know? My grandfather was a nice guy, if you think about it.
That's all I need.
Okay. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad we could make a video out of it.
Yeah. And we got to make a movie. Hi, everybody who's watching. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so the show is over. Hey, Susan. Yep, I'm at the roadshow place where you bring all your historical stuff. Isn't that interesting? So maybe I'll be on TV. What show am I on? The show Antique Roadshow?
This is our.
But tonight's the big thing up at the bus. Oh boy. So I got to get home, pack a bunch of food, and get my little butt ski up there. Isn't this interesting, though? I had a really good time. And I'll be on the PBS station to be able to watch myself, I guess. As if I don't already watch myself all the time. I always am doing something. But this is interesting. I love it. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. The show's over. I love you. Bye.